Let's talk about jealousy, because that was something that I said that I wanted to speak to you about. What is the tantric approach to dealing with jealousy and possessiveness? And more personally, have you experienced jealousy and possessiveness? And if so, how have you dealt with that in your life?
So, in general, you could say, so jealousy is a thing, right? So you cannot just ignore it and do the whole ultra spiritual thing of just saying jealousy. No, that's not a thing for me because that's not something I believe in or something.
Which you encounter a lot of people doing, right?
Yes, exactly. It's a thing. That doesn't mean it has to remain a thing. It doesn't mean you need to buy into the jealousy and feed it and, like Hollywood would like us to believe, make it a token of love, make it like a symptom of love. Oh, what? But if you're not jealous, you don't love me. That's, of course, completely silly. In Tantra, it is said when love comes in, the ego goes out. And when the ego comes in, love goes out. And in that little process that we're basically back and forth between really loving our beloved and also ourselves and having the ego come in. When the ego comes in, then all of these different distortions come in. The distorted viewpoint upon the other, upon yourself, and upon the relationship. May that be envy and jealousy. May that be, being proud and arrogant towards your partner. May that be possessiveness. May that be having all sorts of angers and aggressions towards your partner. May that be being indifferent to the other one. So all sorts of distortions that the ego has in order to not get too close, in order to not merge, in order to not, let's say, lose your limitations into the relationship, they will, show themselves. And in Tantra, we would rather take it as a good opportunity to clear this stuff up in order to have ourselves less limited, have ourselves more open, more capable to love, and so forth. So in Tantra, you don't remove the jealousy and the possessiveness for the other or for I don't know what. You do it in order to delimit yourself. You allow the relationship to become a pointer and even like a map or a measurement device to show you where you're at, also personally in your capacity to love and in your capacity to let go of certain limits that you might have. Now, that being said, you can't sort of find a quick fix bypass solution to that, like just saying, oh, excuse me, I'm just not jealous anymore. That won't work. But you will need to face the issue heads on, and that would mean to first of all become very honest about what is this jealousy actually about. And if you would start honestly reflecting upon, okay, I'm sitting here right now and I'm having the experience of jealousy right now in this moment. How does that feel in my body? What kind of thoughts occur with it? What kind of feelings towards myself occur with it? Rather than immediately projecting the problem out on the partner and saying, well, I'm having a jealousy because look at you, you are being a jerk, or you are being a bitch, or whatever thing you might be thinking, or even saying. So that would be point one of Tantra, dealing with jealousy. Sit with the feeling, be with it, become responsible. Take responsibility for your own feelings and then allow them to show you what's actually up. And usually what is up with jealousy is that there is a lack of confidence. You might be afraid of losing something that is dear to you. You might be afraid that once the other one either just moves about the world freely or even maybe has other relationships, if that's something you're into, or even just, has an openness towards the world and, being flirtatious with other people or whatever might be triggering you, that actually brings out your own insecurities and making you think about, okay, wait a second, but for sure I'm not good enough to live up to, them seeing other standards, other possibilities. Oh no, they are, look at their market value. They are able to flirt with all these people and I can't live up to that. So there's usually some sort of insecurity and some sort of confidence problem. And then that would be the thing to address. You don't have to address anything within the relationship. Jealousy is something that you need to figure out with yourself. Of course, your partner can support you in the process. That's not a question. And that, of course, hopefully your beautiful relationship has that element of friendship as well, where you can openly talk about these things and share how you feel and then support each other in the process. But it has to be first and foremost understood that jealousy is not a problem that the other one is triggering in you, but it is a confidence thing that needs to be solved within yourself. And of course, the solving agent, so to say, in Tantra would be to gradually learn that real self-confidence is not based on any asset. It's not based on something that you did or do, some talent that you have, some beautiful face that you have, some ability to make love that you have or whatever. But confidence, real self-confidence just derives from the fact that you exist, that you are a part of this universe. You were given a space within this universe. And the universe thought it's a good idea to put you there and to make you part of the whole thing, right? And when you gain a consciousness of yourself, an awareness of yourself, where you perceive yourself as part of the whole, where you perceive yourself as having a value just by being, then gradually a real self-confidence can grow from within. That is not based anymore on being better or worse than others or on doing a certain thing.
And I mean, we don't have to go here if you don't want, but I'm curious for you, like, you've been on this spiritual path for so long, you do this work for, been doing this work for a long time. When jealousy comes up for you, how do you deal with it?
Yeah, I didn't actually mean to dodge that question.
No, not at all.
I just forgot about it. So basically in the same way, jealousy does come up for me, and it does come up for me a lot. It's one of my major things that I need to work with. For other people, it's other things. And this is maybe something that, if jealousy is a problem for you, you might have either the illusion that you're the only one having the problem, or you might have the illusion that everybody has this problem. But neither of them are true. And when jealousy comes up for me, the first thing that I try to do is exactly what I just described, to just sit with it, to just accept what is. Just allow for whatever is inside of me to show itself. But first things first, to not just put it on my beloved, to not just say, well, you created the problem, you are the problem, your actions are the problem. But to understand, okay, this is something that is happening within me. There are certain mechanisms now at work inside of me that I don't see them necessarily very perfectly right now. I don't maybe understand them, but I can understand that something is happening inside of me, and I can just sit with that. And then that usually helps me to, let's say, start the process of gradually moving out of jealousy, to just sit with it, understand what's happening inside of me, embracing what's happening inside of me. And then from there, from that space of just centering and feeling myself, it will be possible to move forward. Also good to understand that jealousy is a very mind-based thing. It's very much about the mind getting agitated. Very often, the problem of jealousy is not that you are standing next to your partner and they make a flirty comment towards someone else. That might be a moment that is the trigger. But then that's not the problem. The problem is that you keep thinking about this for 3 weeks, and that in your mind it's like making all sorts of comments about that. What does that mean? And what happened there? And then you go to your beloved the day after and you say, but what you did there, that was so triggering for me. And it's not happening right now. Why are you suffering from something that was going on in the past? Well, it is because there's loops and loops and loops going on in your mind that keep you suffering. When you understand that it's your agitated mind that makes you suffer most of the time within jealousy. There's, like a 0.5%, the actual things that might be happening. But then the rest is really something that is just, going on within your own head. Understanding that sort of gives you a lot of freedom, because then it's like, well, okay, I could also just choose to, stop having these thoughts, as in focusing on something else. Not so much distracting oneself, but rather sitting and meditating, for example. Just breathing, just becoming aware of the body. Just even something simple as counting your own fingers and your own toes. It will already remove you a bit from this loops and stories going on within the mind. So for me, these sort of tools, they are very helpful. One thing that helps me massively on the jealousy front is actually a relatively new discovery as like an inner experience. Is something, okay, that I knew before in theory, but now I start to experience it. Something that I shared with you privately before is to shift from an attitude of lack to an attitude of overflow, and to sort of reflect for a moment when you start feeling jealous, especially when there's not much to it. I mean, it's another thing if you have certain boundaries and things that you, for now, don't want to embrace within your relationship. Okay, fine, and talk to your partner, and that's that. But especially in moments of jealousy that really, they don't, they're just not real. It's just something that mainly plays out in your head, is to just reflect for a moment, what do I feel I need right now from the other that makes me so anxious to lose? Because that's usually the thing, that you feel you're getting something from the other that might be taken away from you. And then that is what makes the jealousy rise, that you're afraid to lose something that the other one is providing for you. And you start to understand that actually that is not so, that rather the relationship is about what you want to offer into it rather than what you want to get out of it, then usually jealousy subsides. For me, it's like a direct remedy, you could say, against jealousy. Like in the moment it rises up, I just start to feel, okay, wait a second, what do I feel am I lacking? Why am I so afraid of losing something here? What do I feel I don't have within myself that I need from the other? And then just becoming aware of that attitude. I don't even need to necessarily know exactly what I'm trying to get from the other one, but just becoming aware that I'm having this, that I'm trying to pull something from the other towards myself. I'm even trying to hold on to them, even like I get this image of holding my partner by the collar or by the shirt or something. And then just letting that go and understanding, no, this is not what I'm about within a relationship. For me, a relationship is about offering something wonderful to another human being, but also to the relationship, to something, to this beautiful process that is happening between the two of us. What can I offer to that? And in that moment when it shifts from this passivity of needing something to an active approach of understanding that I have so much to offer and there's nothing that I need from anyone because I'm one with the universe and everything's already offered to me, then jealousy goes away, like on the spot.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I really like that perspective. I think that could be helpful for a lot of people.